Hello and welcome to Unseen Threads. I am so glad to have you with me. Last time we spoke of Jadayu, the heroic bird who gave his life in a moment of glorious sacrifice. Today we are going to pull on a different thread from the great epic, the Mahabharata. It's not a story of a single heroic act, but of a life consumed by injustice and the quiet burning desire for justice. This is the story of a princess named Amba. This is not the story of the war of Mahabharata. This is the story of a vow. A woman who was taken, rejected, forgotten. But she didn't disappear, she waited through one lifetime and came back in another. Her name was Amba, and her fire never left. Amba, the Undying Flame. Let's step into this world together for a moment. Imagine the scene. The kingdom of Kasi is buzzing with excitement. Three beautiful princesses are ready for their Swayamvara, a ceremony where they get to choose their own husbands. The moment of life's choice. But their choice is brutally taken from them. A great warrior, Bhishma, patriarch of the Kuru dynasty, bursts in and abducts all the three princesses. In his mind, it's an act of honor, a duty to secure brides for his half-brother, Vichitravirya. But for these women, what was it? For them, it was an act of violation. Now Amba, as we will see, was not to be silenced. She bravely tells Bhishma that she had already given her heart to another king, the king of Salva. And in a surprising turn, Bhishma honors her wish and sends her to her beloved King Salva. But the king of Salva, in a profound act of pride, rejects her. He tells her and the world that he cannot accept a bride who was abducted by another man. Her honor, he claimed, was compromised. Can you imagine the injustice? Amba was being punished for something that was done to her. Now she was a woman with no home, no husband, and no future. Talking about the time that they were living. All because of a prideful man's rigid definition of honor. Have you ever felt caught in a situation you didn't create with no clear path forward? That was Amba's reality. Humiliated, she returns to Bhishma, not with fear but with blazing fire. She said to Bhishma, "You caused this, you have to fix it. Marry me or restore my honor." But Bhishma, on the other hand, had taken a vow of celibacy. And he would not break it. Not for love, not for guilt, not even for justice. He refused again and again. Amba said nothing more. She walked away, not as a victim, not as a princess, but as a weapon waiting to be forged. She begged sages, asked kings, prayed to the gods. "Help me to destroy Bhishma," she said. Most turned away until one day she lit her own fire and walked straight away into it, saying only this, "I will return." And she did. She was reborn as a warrior, not a woman this time, but as Shikhandi, a name, a form, a life that was waiting for only one thing, Bhishma's death. And it is here, in the moment of anger and despair, that Amba's pain transforms into an unyielding fire. Her pleas for compassion failed. Her truth was not enough to move these powerful men. And so, Amba dedicates the rest of her life to a single burning purpose to become the cause of Bhishma's death. She spends her days in penance and prayer, not for salvation but for revenge. Her story isn't just part of the epic, it becomes a powerful thread that eventually pulls the entire world of the Mahabharata into a great bloody war. On the day of battle, Bhishma stood undefeated. No man dared to face him, but Shikhandi stood in front of Arjuna. Bhishma lowered his weapons. "This is not a man," he said. "I will not fight." And in that moment, Arjuna shot arrow after arrow until Bhishma fell. Not by Arjuna, by the vow that Amba had taken a lifetime before. For a vow that Amba returned in this lifetime. They say Bhishma chose the time of his death, but Amba chose the time of her return to be the reason of his death. Not all weapons are forged of metal. Some are born of silence, rejection. If you think deeply, this was not the story of revenge. It was the story of a woman who refused to disappear, and her name was Amba. Last time with Jatayu, we celebrated a heroic stand. Amba's story offers a different lesson. It's a sobering reminder of the unseen consequences of our pride and rigid adherence to rules. Bhishma's vow, while a sign of his personal greatness, was the very thing that doomed Amba. His refusal to bend his principles for a human being in pain is what set her on a path of revenge that would transcend across lives. It makes us wonder, doesn't it? In our lives, do we value our principles over compassion? Are we perhaps unknowingly holding others to impossible standards while refusing to bend our own? Amba's story challenges us to look past the grand narratives and see the suffering of those caught in the crossfire of unbending rules. Her plight, born of injustice and fueled by a burning desire for a justice she was denied, reminds us that the pain of one person can be the unseen thread that brings down an entire kingdom. Amba's story is an eternal reminder that unaddressed justice does not simply disappear into thin air. It festers, it grows. This is a lesson that is as relevant today in our personal lives and on the world stage as it was in the days of Mahabharata. Amba's story serves as a powerful reminder there is no such thing as a small injustice when a person's dignity and life are at stake. It's a timeless lesson that we must confront and address wrongs, no matter how significant they may seem. Because the unseen threats of injustice, if left to their own devices, will eventually weave a far greater tragedy than we could ever imagine. Thank you for joining me to explore Amba's Undying Flame. What part of a story resonates most with you? I would love to hear your thoughts. Join me next time as we discover another unseen thread from our history. Till then, take care.